Production. Production. Blank Beats Production. Blank Beats Production.
Calling out all my nerds, freaks, and geeks. It's mob time.
Don't tune in cause it's showtime. Go ahead and call the gang up for the one time. Rap food rhyme, got them on the line. And my life's still great, I'm doing just fine. Hands up.
I mute everybody.
Yeah, I was good too. That intro never gets old. I just love that intro so much.
You just love hearing
You turn it
your
up in the
voice.
background.
Yeah. If anybody in the comments can guess which one of the Blerd Mob members wrote the intro and sang the intro, y'all get $3 on Cash App.
Hint, his name start with an
You only get one.
It was
You
Galvin
only
Jack.
get one guess.
Galvin Jack.
It was one
Galvin
guess.
Jack.
Y'all don't want $3?
Ryan, like
$3?
Ryan, you took $3 opportunity away from our followers and supporters. That's crazy. That's greed. That's the
Forget
greed that
them.
was
I
talking about in
want
the
the
Bible.
$3.
Wow,
That's
not
so
for
I
crazy.
want the
you.
$3. You know
For
what I
what?
can do?
Actually, Gavin. First of all, Gavin Jack didn't write or sing that song, so you are actually wrong, sir.
Loser.
King, KVNG.
Gavin Jack is a moniker.
King wrote it.
Okay.
You still wrong.
Y'all
Let's
always
go to the
start
intro
this.
Now
portion.
that we got that out the way, welcome to another Blerd production. I'm your host, Fu. I am joined today by King, Antoine, and Ryan, and we are here to bring you guys another episode of our Black History Month celebration. But before we get started, if you aren't following us on any of our social media platforms, make sure you do so. We're on Instagram at the Blerd Mob Pod. You can find us on Twitter at the Blerd Mob, and you can find us on TikTok and Facebook at the Blerd Mob Podcast. If this is your first time checking us out, if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you're watching this on Twitch, make sure you hit that follow button. And if you're listening to this as the audio form, make sure you hit that follow button on Spotify and Apple Podcasts so you guys can get updated when we release new episodes. Also, we just released episode 42. So make sure you check out that episode. If you want to find any of our previous episodes, check out our link tree, linktr.ee/the Blerd Mob Pod releases. And if you're feeling also generous, send us a donation on Ko-fi, ko.fi.com/the Blerd Mob Podcast. All right. So how's everybody doing today? Other than the fact that Ryan is desperate for $3, Galvin is giving away $3, and Antoine
Nobody still has guessed the name of the artist.
Has lied about who sings the intro.
All I see. All I see.
Ryan still didn't guess it right. So our viewers, put in the chat who wrote and sings the intro.
I'm gonna create a fake
you get
YouTube.
$3 on
That's
Cash
gonna
App.
from YouTube.
Right.
He must gonna put the whole song. We don't even have the whole song.
I'm gonna say it's the guy who sent us the copyright strikes. I'm gonna say that's who wrote it.
Ooh.
I was gonna say something, but I ain't gonna throw no shots at him. He ain't wrote that. What y'all heard at the beginning, he didn't write that. That's premium pen. This right here, that's what that was.
You wrote it with that pen right there.
This one, premium
that
pen.
one right there.
That's what that was. Yeah.
Happy Valentine's.
I learned from the greatest. Y'all see her back there. I learned from the best. Y'all see her watching over me back there.
We don't see nothing. Your camera ain't that clear. You need to watch.
Oh, you see her. Oh, you see her. You know what that's about back there.
But this is not the music talk. So I would like to introduce everybody to week 2 of our Black History Month celebration. So today we're going to be discussing the video game industry. If you missed us last week, make sure to check out our live stream on the TV and film industry after this episode. Next Wednesday, we're going to be doing the anime, manga, and comic book industry. And then on the last week, February 28th, we're going to be discussing the music industry. So we're just going to do for King and Ryan, we're just going to do the discussion like we did last time. And then for Antoine, who's joining us for the first time for our Black History Month celebration, we're going to go around the room to begin. And just if there's any peers or notable Black figures in the video game industry that you guys would like to recognize, now is your time to let them shine.
I would like to shout out Gerald Lawson, also known as Jerry. He was one of the few Black engineers in the gaming industry during the 1970s. And though one of the few in the industry, his impact is still here today. Can y'all guess what he created?
Joysticks.
Nope. He created the technology that led to what is now known as gaming cartridges.
So I do remember that. Nice.
So because of him, we've had all of the consoles that use cartridges, such as the old Nintendo consoles and even the new Switch nowadays, DS's, Game Boys, and etc. So shout out to Jerry. He is a legend from the 1970s that has innovated the gaming industry, and I was really happy about that.
Mm-hmm.
Because without him, what would we plug the game into?
What would we do?
Without him,
out
what would
here?
Nintendo
I
have done?
mean,
Stuck to the disc on GameCube, them little small discs.
mhm.
Well, they had to invent the disc first. They was doing cartridges first.
Fair enough. Discs were going to get here at some point. You know, we
Discs were
had
gonna.
them.
So what were they
We had
gonna
them floppy
do?
disk and stuff and everything back in
I
the day.
wish
Remember
I would
those?
stick a floppy disk. I mean, they might as well say we had floppy disk, that big hunk of gray cartridge that we had to stick in that 64.
Look, have to blow on it whenever the game ain't load up properly.
I
Hey,
don't
you had
know.
to go there.
Yeah,
No,
bro. You had to beat that thing, make
For
love
real.
to it, beat it.
You had to blow the cartridge in the inside of the 64 to get it going.
Yeah.
Man, listen. But that's who I had to shout out. I was really proud of that.
That's what's up.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I can go next. I wanted to
Mhm.
shout out all of the streamers that are existing in the gaming space, black streamers. Some of these streamers we have collaborated with. Christine, she is Boogie, your boy Roshi. I don't want to take Galvin's RDC World. They do game streams, so shout out to them. And I feel like I had one more person. I forgot. If I think of their name, we will spin the block. But shout out to those guys. We're doing big things in the streaming industry. Christine and your boy Roshi do a lot with YouTube gaming. So shout out to them. That's all I had. King, Antoine.
Nice.
Go here, King.
No, you can go ahead. The floor is yours.
Y'all must say have nobody.
Ah,
I'm gonna shout out Ralph. I'll shout out Ralph. Ralph be doing
Not
his
Ralph
thing, even though
Plays.
he's not here tonight. Y'all go follow Ralph Plays on Twitter and Instagram. I'm gonna plug you in, Ralph, since the rest of your friends wasn't gonna do it. Y'all didn't think about him. It's all right.
I mean,
So shouts out to you if you watching this.
I don't think he's watching. Put it in the chat if
Put
Ralph is
it in the
watching.
chat.
If you
Ralph
think
watching.
Ralph watching.
Put it in the chat if you
If you're
think Ralph is
watching, comment
watching.
your Twitch tag. If you watching, put your Twitch tag in the comments.
They say he playing Apex, so there they go.
Ooh.
There you go. See,
Don't put my friend out there like that.
Shout out to Ralph.
He making video content right now.
He gonna hop back on it. Follow Ralph Plays on Twitch, Instagram, and Twitter. So when Ralph does return, you can watch him stream.
I ain't
Now
have
it's
nobody
your turn.
specific.
And Antoine ain't have nobody. So
I ain't
we
have nobody
gonna-
specific, y'all. Shout out to the Blerd Mob podcast. Y'all be doing y'all big thing.
Who King and Antoine on the game streams for the Blerd Mob? Shout out
Hey,
to y'all.
look, shout out
I
to
seen
you.
they stream Tekken, Mario Kart. Shout out
Hey.
to the Mortal Kombat. Shout out to them.
Yeah, we trying to
Yeah.
get into the game industry. We've been missing for a couple
Yeah.
weeks. But yeah,
Yep.
check out the mob plays. Like Ron said, we've done Tekken, Mortal Kombat 1, Mario Kart, and I feel like we did one more other game. Smash Brothers.
Yeah, we did
did
Smash.
Blackfin
Yep.
Gaming. Blackfin
We did.
Gaming. Shout out to y'all.
So we trying to get back in the game streaming, which
Yeah.
I'll say one more time. Big shout out to Christine and Boogie. They gave me some helpful insight and some advice for getting all of that set up. Black women in gaming.
Black
Yeah.
women in gaming. Shout out to the
Ain't
black
that an
women.
organization? Ain't Boogie a part of that?
It's
Or
think
making
it's-
the name wrong?
I think it's he is she is
Black
gaming.
Girl Gamers or something
Yeah.
like that.
Black Girl Gamers.
Mhm.
And I thought she was in another group too. But yeah, just shout out to all of those organizations for making communities for Black gamers to get together, sharing the love and the advice for us to get like sponsorships, how to increase our content and things like that. So
Mhm.
let's move on to the discussion. So I'm gonna start it off with our first question. So, how has Black video game characters, developers, projects, etc., shaped you as an individual? Let's give
I
that
say
a
the
Antoine, like he
represent.
ready to speak.
I say the representation, in the games, seeing and being able to play as someone that looks like you. I guess you could say,
mm-hmm.
um, is a big thing. Because I think especially for like role playing games, so people, especially like I know the games where you could actually like create your character and you can make them look as similar to you or something like that. I think shout out to those. I think the representation matters.
Yeah, I was gonna
Mm-hmm.
say, um, I guess to start with my experience, like when I started playing games, like playing on my cousin's PlayStation, I guess my exposure to Black characters was like the Street 3 basketball games. Everybody
Oh
played.
yeah,
Everybody
Street was
plays.
nice.
Everybody plays San Andreas. So
Hmm.
CJ, the characters in Mortal Kombat, Jax, um, and then I want to give a big shout out to The Sims for like having the character customization to be able to, switch your race and be able to create a character as best as you could that is similar to yourself and be able to live out
Mm-hmm.
that simulation of how I would want to live my life. But
Hmm.
going forward, going to what Antoine was saying, like the character customization that we have now, especially with like some of the genres that those character customization exist in, allows you to represent yourself in different worlds. And I guess like with myself as being a gamer, it's open myself to different communities and being able to experience different games and being able to feel some sense of community when certain games come out. So,
I would say I had my experience when it comes to representation in the gaming industry more so comes from the consumers themselves. Growing up, I was never bullied for being a nerd. I ain't a part of that group of folks who be talking about all that. But because I was never that 6 foot black guy who was like really into sports or anything, I always felt welcomed when I could meet like other black gaming nerds like throughout my high school, throughout middle school, who I could sit down with and just talk about the things we enjoy. I remember back in the Halo 4 days, I was in a Halo group. We had a Facebook page, website, and everything, and the leader of it was actually a black guy. And we got really cool. One of my first like long-term virtual friends, quote unquote.
mm-hmm.
And it did give me that sense of community and like family, brotherhood from like a small perspective that's not like my actual family. And it was impactful for me. I felt like through that I was able to um, develop real friendships and find like-minded individuals that allowed me to just feel comfortable as a gamer myself because I didn't follow that stereotype that people thought I'd fall into.
Aw, he found friends.
Oh,
Love.
you found a friend in
I mean,
me.
I mean, what our friendships around here, most of what we did back in college.
I promise I was not trying to do the stop it because I was not. I guess it did what I did.
Excluding
So
Galvin, I never liked him. We were never friends. He was never
I
cool.
don't know
I
about
still
that.
don't.
I
I
don't know.
don't know why
See,
he's here.
that's crazy.
Ryan,
Y'all
that's
told me not to
so
do
that's
that.
so
I
funny.
told
Ryan gave this sentimental story about he found
I told
friendship in
Poop I
Halo
ain't
4.
even
Here
want
go
him in the
Galvin with
blurred
following.
mob,
I'm sorry, Phil.
not including Galvin. But
Right, I'm just saying. I was applauding you, Ryan. What? You gonna have the people, the supporters thinking we beefing and we can't have that.
we are, we are. You brought
If
the
it's beef,
patty.
you need to put it on the grill and go and eat it.
You
Cause,
already cooked
Mm,
it and seasoned it. You brought the
mm.
meat.
Oh,
girl, well, y'all
Well,
see, he the one with the issue, not me.
well, to hop on Ryan's thing. I really liked his like the sense of community. I would guess like growing up, it was kind of hard. I wouldn't say it was hard, but I guess it was rare to find individuals who played the same games that you played and
Hmm.
things like that. So I don't remember back in maybe when I was younger, like everybody had like a Wii, we'll come over and play like Just Dance and stuff like that. But when I started to get into like action adventure and like playing the Batman games and the Uncharted games, I didn't connect with a lot of people who were playing those same type of games. If it wasn't like the Nintendo, like everybody's playing this, then you know it's just me playing the game.
Yeah, and I would say completely agree. Like gaming was always like a pastime for me when it came to bonding with like my mom, whether it was the board games, Monopoly, Sorry, Life, Candyland, all of them, to Taboo, to playing Mario Kart on the Wii, Mario Kart 64 back in the day. Like
Mm-hmm.
one thing that I always utilized for bonding with people was video games. That's what we did all throughout college. If we weren't partying, we was on the Switch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and I'll give you that too. Like as we got older and we started forming this group, like just meeting up to play Smash Bros. Everybody bringing their Switch. That one time where we did the TV party where everybody brought their TV and their game system, and we just sat in your room for like hours just playing whatever game that we wanted to. Like that was dope, and that was an experience that I
We had a
didn't get
whole
to
LAN
get.
party.
Right. That was an experience that I didn't get to get when I was younger. But I'm
Mhm.
glad I got to experience it as I got older. And like even now, with the way that gaming and all of these other industries are growing, and how we're forming these communities and being able to discuss these games and share your opinions without feeling shunned. I mean, for certain fandoms it does happen, but I can freely get on my Twitter right now and talk about how I like Tekken 8 and all of these other games and get people to respond to me, people who I probably don't even know, or like just mutuals through Twitter, and be like, hey, I'm playing that game too. Or I
Your voice disconnected just now, Food.
Ooh, she disconnected.
Donate to that Kofi link, you guys.
I thought we was over
I
this
ain't
stuff.
ko.com/ the Blerd My Podcast. Send in
We
them
still can't
donations.
hear you,
Her
and she
voice
just
still ain't
talking.
come
can't
on.
hear
Click the
you.
link in our bio. We need income. We
That's
need
why Ryan was
support.
trying to get them $3, y'all. It was really trying to go
You
to
see why we
food.
need this money.
Look,
We need webcams. We need mics.
No, we don't need mics. I need StreamYard to stop connecting to this microphone on this camera when I have a microphone right here.
that's crazy.
Well, at least we hear you now. They donated. They paid the bill. They paid the StreamYard bill. Yeah. We got that gold package, 1080p. We trying to upgrade to titanium. We trying to get 4K.
That's
Woo!
crazy.
It's not me, it's the software.
Put it in the chat if it's the software.
Aware that it's
I'm gonna put it in the chat.
Put it in the chat if you
I'm
think
gonna
it's
put
a
it in the chat. It's software. But that's I don't know where I stopped off at. But all I was saying is that the community now surrounding video games is way bigger and way more welcoming than it was when I was younger. And that's all I was trying to say.
I agree.
What say
You
you,
got
King?
anything, King?
Can I be honest with y'all? I ain't got nothing to say.
You suck.
I mean, y'all said it all. I mean, and growing up, I wasn't like a big gamer, so I just, I mean, I had games, but like, let me get out off the bus and run to the PlayStation 2 and then give that.
When did you develop your love for Mortal
Well,
Kombat then?
what
Because you
about
talk
now
about
then?
I always loved MK. That was one of my favorite games growing up. But like, I would, like, let me not say that. It was some days I did get off the bus and was like, "Ooh, let me go play the game." But that I won't consider myself a gamer because I don't get into the weeds of like the different type of cartridges that we got, the different games, and y'all just get real technical about it. I just be looking at y'all like it didn't get that deep for me. So all I know is cut the game on and press start and play until I got bored. And
So you never utilized
that was
gaming as
it.
like a bonding experience with like friends and family? It was more so like you just passing time with it?
We got this game, I
Yeah.
guess.
I mean, me and our brother used to play the games together. I guess you can use that as about an experience, I guess, until we got
What
to
about
fighting
board
over
game?
it. But
What about board games?
yeah, I guess you consider board games. Card games was really my family's thing. Card games, sitting down playing like 5,000, and that was another card game.
Did y'all play BS?
My mom liked to play the old school card games, like
Apples
some
to
shit they
apples
played
was
in
a fun one.
1970s. Yeah, like you got to keep score on the paper and stuff, and
Oh,
all them
yeah.
type card games.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I was a video gamer, but not like y'all type video gamer. Like, had every game system. Remember when games dropped? Remember going to GameStop? I don't remember none of that. I just remember cutting it on and pressing play.
Hey, bro, we can run down memory lane. I don't know if y'all's doing it. Remember when you get them Pokemon games on DS and Game Boy, but to get like the rare Pokemon drops, you had to go to the GameStop to get the code, and they'll give you a rare. Were y'all
I'ma
doing
be
that?
real.
That's the perfect example. Because
I'ma
what
be
is he even
real.
talking about to me right now?
I'm gonna be real. I did not understand how to play Pokemon until the Switch came out.
Really?
You looking confused, Ron? I've told you this story 3 times.
Oh, what a friend.
Explain what you mean by you didn't understand how to play.
I guess this was my disconnect. This was the disconnect with me and Pokemon. I wanted a Pokemon game because I was watching Pokemon Indigo League, and I was like, yeah, buy me Pokemon. I get to Pokemon, and the way that Pokemon is set up is not how it's set up in the TV show. So there was a disconnect, and then of course you got to travel through which I understand now. You got to travel through the lands, go in the grass, capture the Pokemon, and level up your Pokemon. But back when I was a kid, going in the grass and having to fight a Pokemon every 3 seconds was irritating, and I didn't know what to do. So I stopped playing Pokemon until I got Let's Go Pikachu on the Switch, and then I actually understood what was going on, and I was like, "Oh, I could have been playing Pokemon all this time."
I want you to buy a DS or Game Boy now, like go play.
I'll go back. I would definitely go back. And yes, Sage, welcome to the live stream. I do know there was a run option. I was 6. I was 6. Bro. The game wasn't running the same way as the show. It was in black and white. They didn't let me get a Pikachu. I didn't understand how starters work.
Oh, so you're playing the old, like before Game Boy Color type Game Boy games for Pokemon.
Yeah, it was like Leaf. I think I had Leaf.
So you never tried Ruby and Sapphire. You never tried Fire Red Leaf.
When I say I stopped playing Pokemon, I stopped playing Pokemon.
That's great. So you never got to touch Gale of Darkness, Coliseum.
I played now. I did play Coliseum. Okay. And I like Coliseum. Okay. I played Pokemon Coliseum on the N64, and I played it on when they put it out on the Wii.
GameCube.
That was a Coliseum. Okay, maybe it was the second Coliseum that they put on the Wii, because they made a Coliseum for Wii.
Okay, I know that we had various Pokemon games. So like they had a Pokemon Farm game and a photo game and some more stuff. Like
I think I had the photo game and I didn't like it.
I had the farmer where you plug your DS up to the Wii or your Game Boy, one or the other, and then Pokemon would walk around and they just be walking around and having fun in a fence. And for some reason I liked it because that was when them Facebook games were cool where you could have like pets in an aquarium and stuff.
Yeah. It's not that I dislike Pokemon. I was still watching it. It's just it was the disconnect.
The games
between
ain't hit for you.
Right, until I got Let's Go Pikachu. And I was like, oh, just what I was supposed to do back then. And
that's so crazy.
And now I've been playing. Now I get every Pokemon drop.
I was gonna say at least you got to play the Diamond and Pearl remakes, but man, back then Diamond and Pearl, I love Platinum more. But dang,
I would say this. This just goes back to the fact that I didn't have a group of people who was playing the same games I was playing. Because I feel like if we was friends back then, you could have just showed me how to play Pokemon and I would have been straight.
I was playing the DS on the bus. You know what was going on? You was too busy bullying me and trying to play with that little drum replica for your head. And our homegirls, I ain't going to name them, the twins, would yell at you because you kept beating on it.
Oh, wow.
I was on my DS on the bus.
Wow.
When we sat in the back. I remember that.
You was beating him in the back of the head while he trying to play his DS. That's crazy.
No. Look, because she thought like, yeah, if we were friends, I knew you all through middle school.
I was talking about elementary school.
So that lady used to bully you on the bus.
Yeah, she's trying to talk to me crazy.
You play
but then our homegirls, the twins, they would defend and they would fuss at her for beating them drumsticks.
Whoa.
I don't think she bullied you for playing the DS. I think she bullied you because you used to turn around and scream like dinosaurs at her. I think that's what a disconnect was. No.
Whoa, listen.
She made fun of me because I couldn't say S's right.
Whoa.
Ooh, see.
this is not the black unity that I wanted to present.
I mean, you can say S's now, though. 10 years later, you can say your S's perfectly. So, watch, there should be water under the bridge.
You bully
there
folks
should be.
Too.
All I was trying to say is maybe if me and Ron was cool in elementary school, he could have taught me how to play Pokemon. After this, Ron, we can sit down and we can have a discussion about how that really affected you.
Revisit his trauma.
Look, I don't want no group therapy forget you.
I mean, there has to be something because we went from Pokemon to 8th grade real quick, and we was just.
He's still holding on to it. It's all right. It's okay.
I'm just saying. I didn't like. I'm gonna express myself, Sage.
Go ahead.
I didn't like that she said, "Oh, if we were friends, we used to hang out every morning."
I was talking about in elementary school. Didn't I just say I stopped playing Pokemon when I was like 6? We must have been in middle school when I was 6.
It was in 6th grade.
When I was 6?
No, but we was in 6th grade. If you want to talk about sixes.
Okay,
let's move
on to the next topic. Because this is taking a turn for the worst. This is taking a turn for the worst. I apologize, Ron, that we didn't get the bond and play Pokemon together. I didn't. To be fair, I don't remember you being on no bus with no DS.
I had to take it in secret because you remember them teachers would try to snatch up folks' DSs and
I do remember people used to try, bring their DS to school. I'm just saying I don't remember you with no DS. And if I did see you with a DS, I don't remember you having Pokemon on the DS.
I had it because the girls thought it was cool when I had the DSi, and if you used the pencil, you could write with the rainbow colors, and they thought that was cool. I was like, yeah, I got the DSi.
Okay.
All right.
That's nice. I love that for you.
We here to talk about our experience as a gamer. Ryan is letting out some buried trauma.
This is all gaslighting, Sage. You know what I mean? They tell you to express yourselves, then you do it, and now.
Whoa, we didn't say not express yourself.
We can go to the next topic.
We didn't say not express
yourself.
Happy
Black History Month, y'all.
Right. Black mental health. Let's support it.
We didn't do nothing.
I said let's move forward.
All right.
He's turning red, y'all.
His voice getting higher.
I'm feeling light brown.
All right, y'all. So go after discussion. I would like to go into what do you like the most about Black representation in the video game industry?
I don't know. I kind of stated mine already with the character designs, like especially like when it comes to like Black hairstyles. Like
they're getting better. I would say this.
They're getting better.
There are some games that really took it there. I will give Hogwarts Legacy that with the character customization. I really liked it, and I think I want to say maybe Baldur's Gate had good character customization. I think I heard something about Starfield too. You can tell me if I'm wrong, Ron.
Yes, Baldur's Gate has some really good Black hairstyles, and they had great Black characters. But I'm going to feed off of that, Antoine, because that's what I like and dislike.
Same.
The one thing that they struggle with in Black gaming is hair, and I will give them some leeway because we worked in game design. All of us tried to build our own video games, and you learn about textures and polygons. If you try to replicate Black hair efficiently, that is a lot. Literally, it's a lot of textures and polygons to try to balance out. And
but I don't think that's I don't think that's an excuse for them to be lazy in some aspects because. Let's talk about that Killmonger hairstyle that they throwing on everybody. And then I like Mortal Kombat and I like Tanya's story, but why did she have 3 hairstyles in one on that game? That made zero sense. She had cornrows and straight hair and a bang. And I was like, what's really going on here?
I feel you, but even with the Spider-Man one, I do hate that little Killmonger hairstyle. But as someone who played the first Spider-Man game, first Spider-Man game late, when I saw Miles Morales' original buzz cut with the taper, I was like, okay, on my 4K TV, this looks pretty good. I was like, this is a pretty good Black hairstyle. This is getting better because I was trying to use Black hairstyles back with Dragon Age Origins, games that came out on the early 360s and stuff, and those hairstyles they couldn't even get a buzz cut right.
I
It
would
didn't even look
agree.
good for white guy buzz cuts. It didn't look right. Like that
Because
stuff was trash.
The Sims was like that too. Like as far as like male black hairstyles, you get afro, high fade, low fade. That's it.
They always throw cornrows in there, but they be looking
And
nasty.
and cornrows.
Like they tie rope spaghetti together or something.
Yeah. Or we get cornrows and it's like crinkly at the hairs be splitting up at the top. But I do
no. What Sage talking about? When Miles had that buzz cut, I liked it. Or am I thinking about the Miles Morales?
In the first one, in the first game. Now, if you're talking about Miles Morales PS4, that hair was not sitting. Now, if you're talking about Miles Morales PS5, that's when he had the crispy fade.
Yes, that one. Because remember on the not the loading screen, the start screen, he'll be on the bus sitting down. That's the one I'm talking about.
That's PS5. That was when that's his own game. PS4, I'm with Sage.
Yeah.
Okay,
my
PS4.
man's did not look good. But I also want to touch on what Sage said, is that he said he thinks we need more black developers, because I haven't touched Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League yet. I plan on touching it tomorrow, but I have seen clips of Deadshot. He looks damn good. He looks good.
But I agree with you. I don't think it's an excuse to be lazy, but I do understand why there may be some challenges, but that's exactly why you need more black people in the gaming industry, because I do need more people to be like, hey, now that we got some of the hairstyles, ain't none of y'all got waves right, which is a common black hairstyle, and ain't none of y'all got our curly beards right. And we got three bearded brothers here.
I used to get so mad when they didn't have like an actual like low cut, like what Ryan has right now. I used to get so mad at games that didn't have that, because I was like, it's the most basic black hairstyle you can have. And I was like, why I'm walking around with a bowl cut on my black character? Because they ain't got my hairstyle.
I'm like, the buzz cut, like y'all do afros and everything else for black characters, but y'all know, like a taper and waves or buzz cuts probably still the most common hairstyle amongst us, right?
That's like standard black man right there.
That's
the standard package.
Look, them pictures in the barbershop say, do you want the number 1, 2, 3, or 4? It's number 1.
They weren't looking at the barbershop photos when they was making them textures.
Obviously.
Like I get, but I'll to touch on Ryan's thing and counterpoint it. I understand that because we have been in game development, that it is challenging to create those textures and create those hairstyles. But the power of these game engines that exist right now, I don't feel like they have an excuse.
That's why I was against it, because I was like, y'all doing all this other stuff out here and y'all can't create the hair. I just don't think y'all want to create the hair.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we can build out these expansive worlds and make flying horses. We can make Hogwarts, for damn sake, and everything else around it that's only existed in movies and books. But we gonna ass out on the hairstyles?
So we draw the line right there.
Y'all can't have multiple skin tones. Shout out to Baldur's Gate for having that.
Exactly. Sage said, look at Horizon. It's possible. It's possible.
Yeah.
So I understand that it's challenging, but y'all do everything else. These game engines are powerful as hell.
Yeah.
Sony is using Unreal Engine 5 for this Sony car that they're building, but y'all can't do black hairstyles.
Yeah.
But I will say, you said your question was, what do we like? And I will say key moments where representation came in well. A game like Cyberpunk 2077, a lot of the gangs in Cyberpunk are based around legitimate gangs and cultures that you see from different ethnicities and everything. And there was a don't let me get it wrong, I think it was Jamaican based gang. It was like Black Pacific Islanders, something of that nature. And they did a great job at execution. The characters look lovely. The accents were genuine, and it was really great. And you could see that they put forth the effort. I don't know if it's because they had black developers or they just willing to work with like the natives to those lands. I don't know what played a part. I want to say diversity and just the fact that they actually aimed to keep it genuine is what made it great. But they did a great job at that. I noticed those things. Or the black girl in Hogwarts Legacy. She wasn't my favorite side character, but her story was dope. The fact that she went to the African school, one school in Africa for wizardry, and the fact that they touched on that, showed her mom and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Like those are great characters, and I like that it didn't feel forced. Y'all just they just happened to be black characters, but y'all got them right. They looked good. The voice acting was good. The background story was good. The writing was good, and I like that. That's what I like to see. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I say I like.
I would agree. I like that it's becoming more prevalent, and it's not just it feels forced, or we just have this character in here because we need some diversity.
Yeah.
We're seeing it being more, and I like the fact that we can play a game like Hogwarts Legacy and get black representation in it, and not have to play something like NBA 2K or Madden or Grand Theft Auto to get
Just
black
to get
characters.
that, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I agree with Sage because he said it's not about the engines, it's about the developers. That's true.
I agree with
Because
that too.
a lot of games are adopting RPG elements, even
Mhm.
Madden and 2K, when it comes to making your own character, having a leveling system, having base building systems. And it's to the point, like, yeah, we can create a green monstrosity, we can replicate Shrek or something in a lot of these games, but it shouldn't be so difficult for us as four black individuals. I don't feel like we look that unique as individuals, but for us to not be able to create characters that look similar to us, that's a bad sign. If I pick up a video game and they got character customization and not a single black archetype looks like a black guy that I've seen in the streets. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's not, we can't have that in 2024 and forward.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
You've been silent over there, King.
I'm just letting y'all talk.
What you got to say?
Just not nothing, anything you like.
What do y'all want me to? What y'all want me to say?
What do you
We
like?
we're on a podcast. You're supposed to say something.
I mean,
what I like about black representation in the video gaming industry, the fact that we represent it, I guess, because I can't think of a lot of games with black people, so maybe that's something I dislike. Maybe I should wait for that question. What do I dislike? The lack of representation in the gaming industry. Because we can name all the games on our hand that got black people in it. Spider-Man, MK.
I feel like I would counter
Grand Theft
that.
Auto.
I would counter that. I would counter that because I was thinking about this today. There are hella games that have black main characters. I think the issue that we're coming from is that because you named some major IPs, but there's hella games that have black representation. But the thing is that we're not playing them.
I would even argue, and I don't know if this is a hot take, if we're going into dislikes, out of the four industries we're discussing, when I sat down and thought about a video game, the industry probably has the best black representation, in my wholehearted opinion. Because some games you shouldn't expect it out of either. Like Ghost of Tsushima, there's no reason why we should be expecting black people out of that game. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mario Kart, we're looking at Mario games. It's been an Italian guy since the 90s, the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
We shouldn't be, and they barely create new characters. So we
they got Black Yoshi.
That Antoine.
I'm gonna keep going.
That's not.
Y'all don't think
that's
that?
not. No.
Oh, okay.
No.
But in the sense that
no, thank you.
Okay.
No, thank you. I reject. Yeah.
But even with the popular games, like if you can play a Call of Duty or a Battlefield and find a black character in the story, you can play a Cyberpunk, you can play Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, all of them. And I feel like the gaming industry definitely does a better job than other sub industries in the entertainment industry when it comes to black representation. Now, maybe it could be more efficient if we had more black developers. I agree, but I feel like they do the best personally because I play a lot of the
I can
RPG
agree
action
with
adventures.
some of that. I agree with some of that. Out of the categories that we're gonna talk about this one, I don't feel like gaming does the best. Honestly, it's number 3. Anime is the worst. I'm pretty sure we'll get to that when we get to that. But after anime is gaming, then you can swap. Music and TV is interchangeable, but music would probably be at the top for me, then TV. I just don't feel like video games. I don't see enough. Maybe I don't play enough video games to see enough black people, but I mean, they out there. I mean, they're there.
And that's what I'm saying. I think that some of the games that we play, we aren't seeing it because of the games that we play. But I think there are hella games that have black representation, but we're always attracted to like the major IPs where we only get one or two black characters. We went up for Spider-Man. Spider-Man had Miles Morales. He did have his the girl on the side, and then the people in the street. We look at Mortal Kombat, Tanya and Darius, that is a cameo character.
Yeah.
So that's why I was saying, I think like for that argument, I think we're looking at major IPs, but I would agree with Ryan. I've seen a lot of black representation in games, but it just turns out that some of those games, the genre that they fall into, I just don't play.
Yeah. And then I'll also say when it comes to quite a few games where you can make your own character, like the Baldur's Gates, the Elden Rings, the Dragon Ages, the thing with that is if you can create your own main character, would you include that in representation? Or are you going to say, are the NPCs there? In those games, the NPCs are there, and you can create your own. So I would say that's a great job. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I would agree with that. And then it goes back into my like and kind of dislike. Like I like the fact that character customization is advancing, but also I think my dislike, and we kind of already talked about it, is when it's the developer's turn, or when it's the game's turn to make a static black character, we ass out. Because why does Miles Morales, Eddie Gordo, and Tekken, and there's somebody else that they just put in some other game, all got the same hairstyle? Like we couldn't think of nothing else. Like shout out to Leroy's design. Leroy looks great.
Yeah, Leroy looks nice.
So it makes me wonder. It makes me wonder because I seen this come up in conversation with the most recent Spider-Man game. Are there black developers on those teams? And it makes me want to ask: are they picking those hairstyles? We don't know, but playing devil's advocate, let's say those teams ain't fully white. Let's say those teams ain't just a whole bunch of heterosexual white guys who don't know what black people wear. Are there black people who are sitting there being like, "Hey, we gotta give them that cut"?
I wonder, but is it? And I want to ask you another question.
I don't think so.
If that's the case, why do they feel like that's the socially acceptable hairstyle for a black male?
That's a good question.
Why is it this one? Oh, this gonna get him. Why is it that one? Why couldn't he keep his fade?
Here's the thing. I do agree with you. I don't see why they latched on to it, but I will say, if we're going by popular black hairstyles and popular black media, like things that will never break style, waves will never break style, afros will never go out. Well, they go out of style, but they're old school. There's nothing we got to look into new. But that curved over short twist / short dread hairstyle, that was pretty recent. And before that, it was like the broccoli cut, sort of the longer version of what Antoine got, the taper and the long fro that you just hit the sponge with. That was probably the most recent trendy hairstyle that we had. And these games take about 4 or 5 years to develop now for most AAA games. Okay. If they picked it out then, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's not to give them excuses. I'm just saying that there is room for failure when it comes to that.
I can see that.
I'm just trying to think of how many dudes I know that got twists pinned to the side like Killmonger and Miles.
But I mean, like now,
I can't think of none right off the bat. Not even back then. Like, what dude with dreads just woke up and pinned their dreads to the side and that's just what they wore throughout the day?
I will say this: freeform.
Name me 3.
And that's what I want to say.
Name me 3 people in real life that took their dreads and woke up and pinned them to the side and was like, that's just it.
But this is my point.
I think that does play a part.
This is my point. And this is what I was asking. And Sage hit it right on the nose. It was like, I guess that's the sociably, except we want to make waves with giving a black character a different hairstyle. it's gonna be the Killmonger hairstyle because that's the one that's gonna be socially acceptable to everybody. And I don't like that.
I don't even think that I don't agree with that. I don't feel like that hairstyle is socially acceptable because they could like say with the dreads. Like I've seen hella games with black people with dreads. Like they can go that route or being bald headed. I play games with black people bald headed. WWE when you customize your own fighter. Like I just feel like them twist pins to the side just popped out of thin air for me. Like I'm just still trying to think of 3 people I know that wear that to make it just so socially normal and popular. Like,
but
I just can't. It's not connecting for me.
I hear the thing. I'm in agreement with you, but I want to ask: is this just being inflated by social media? Is that really the one hairstyle that's popping up in all video games? Because the video games where I've played, just the ones I've played that had black people, the black folks in Cyberpunk, the black folks they just had in Baldur's Gate 3. They didn't have them hairstyles. Will and all of these black characters.
But I guess it goes back. But then it goes back to the core of it, the developers, because we brought up Spider-Man, and we're bringing up Tekken 8 with Eddie Gordo and Miles Morales. I mean, if I don't know who's in the developer room for Tekken,
because think about it, like
Tekken is that's by Capcom or who makes Tekken again?
If we was all in a room, we was all game developers, and we make a game that's full of black folks, and it's like, okay, let's put a white character in there. What's the white hairstyle that y'all gonna pick?
That fade comb over that they get, where they get that little line on the side, and they
I'm picking cooking that head.
I was gonna give him the Justin Bieber cut.
But I will say this. I'm not trying to stereotype my white counterparts, but especially in LA, that is what all of them got. And all of the white guys in my company, that is that go-to.
But that's my point, though.
Yeah.
How many black? You still ain't naming 3 black people with them twists to the side. Maybe you just said hella dudes in California with your hairstyle that you was gonna put. It's hella dudes with a Justin Bieber cut. That's just like us making a white character and giving them a mullet. No white people gonna be mad as hell because white people just don't walk around with mullets.
I heard
it's a white hairstyle, but that's like what?
Coming back. I heard those are coming back.
On women. Now the black women with the mullets, how they do the pixie cut with the mullet, now that's cute, but that's another conversation. But yeah, like I'm just saying, like
yeah. So I'm guessing it probably was a game. It was a room full of developers that probably don't look like us. And they was like, to go back to King's point is like, where did they see this hairstyle other than on Michael B. Jordan?
Right, like where are y'all seeing this? Like that's my point. Like where are y'all seeing this? Because you go to any hood, you're not gonna see nobody with dreads come to the side. You're gonna see everything but that. So where are y'all getting this from? We can't say, oh, it's just popular. That's what they think is so. No, where are y'all getting this from? I'm confused.
I would say this though. I just looked up cool black male hairstyle.
Don't tell me they swooped them to the side.
But it didn't pop up. It didn't pop up. I'm proving your point.
Okay.
I'm proving your point.
I was gonna say. What popped up? Let me see. Show your screen.
I want to see.
They got fades.
I was gonna say
they got fades and fros and
They got some dreads up there.
Cornrows going to the back.
Cornrows, okay.
They got the twists.
And like them just, them regular niggas, like if I see a black character with like Jackson Darius on MK, they both bald headed. The cornrows, dreads, stuff like that is normal because I've seen black guys every single day with hairstyles like that. So that stuff like that don't bother me. I'm a bald headed black man. So when I see another bald headed black man in front of me, like I'll be like, oh, okay, y'all picked that because it's what y'all see. But y'all ain't seeing nobody with their Killmonger hairstyle walking down the street.
Here's another thing. Because I do support you, Gavin. I am on your side. I will say this though, and this is just me thinking a little bit further. Miles Morales is Hispanic and black.
Yeah, he's Afro-Latino.
Have any of y'all met? Because it was a lot of them in LA. Have y'all met mixed Mexican and black kids, or mixed black
Yes,
and
they
Latino
all up in
kids.
here through Omaha, South Omaha down the street. They running rampant. I still ain't seen nobody with them twists to the side.
No, wait. You're
I
getting
ain't
ahead.
seen
You're getting ahead.
it.
You're getting ahead. They hair texture shouldn't even make that hairstyle, because their hair texture is similar to like black and white kids with them straight loose curls that they be having when they mix. That hairstyle technically shouldn't be on Miles Morales.
See what I'm saying?
If we being real, technically he should not have that hairstyle.
I kind of thought about that too.
It's just not. It's not given. Like y'all could have did anything. Else,
it looks more that. Now I will say I do like the way they do his hair in the movie. Like his hair in the movie seems like
okay. Now that's right. It fits like the Afro Latina vibe. Like it's not. It's kind of woolly, but then it's kind of silky and curly at the same time.
Yeah.
So like he can get a fro, but when it get wet, it fall down to his shoulders like a Hispanic. Like that's what it's supposed to give.
Them looser curls.
Right.
Yeah, that's what it looks like in the movie. I guess, like going back to Sage's point, I just feel like that maybe when the Killmonger hairstyle came out and like the success of Black Panther and how everybody attached to the movie and everybody, accepted the movie. And then it was like, moving forward, when we make these black characters, everybody, they F with the Killmonger hairstyle, so they'll F with Miles Morales with the hairstyle. They'll F with Eddie Gordo with the hairstyle.
But now Michael B. Jordan. Did nobody say, "Ooh, that hairstyle"?
But that's what I'm saying. now I got to conflict with what I. Now I got to conflict myself. I mean, contradict myself, because I don't remember what year did Black Panther come out. We was our junior senior year of college.
It was. Tell me. I don't know, somewhere junior. It came out in 2016. Maybe it was sophomore. No, it came out in 2018.
We went to an HBC when I ain't seen nobody else rock that hairstyle. People were still rocking that double braid hairstyle where it turned to a ponytail and they'll lose curls after.
That would have
But I'm not saying like we looked at the movie and like, oh, let's go replicate this hairstyle. I'm saying that these companies and these developers looked at the success of that movie and saw the difference. It was like, ooh, that's cool. Let's use it for everything else.
And maybe we can have that success.
Because even while we are complaining about Miles Morales' hair, Spider-Man 2 sold.
Because that show played it. Finna go play it again in a few weeks.
No, to answer Sage's question, no, I don't think they put themselves among black people to study their hair. No.
They did it.
I feel like it definitely depends on the developer, and only specific developers do that. Like I can give CD Projekt Red credit for that because of how much love they put. But these other developers, Sony Studios Insomniac made Spider-Man 2.
Mm-hmm.
That's laziness because it's so simple.
That's what I'm saying.
Now,
I'm not trying to give them leeway. I'm just saying I don't think they did.
But I guess to step away from Miles, I do like the hairstyle that they gave the deaf girl in the game.
What's her name? Haley?
And Haley.
That was my girl name.
I do like the hairstyle they gave her.
That was her hair was nice.
Yeah.
And it looked nice.
And this is why representation is necessary when done right. Because Haley, their interactions and showing like how interacting with a deaf person works. I've never directly interacted with a deaf person until like a month or two after playing that game. I was at the Texas Renaissance Fair and a girl came up to me and she really liked my fit and wanted to take a picture. And she showed me her phone with like the text. And I was like, oh shoot, she's deaf. And I'm like, dang, I wish I knew sign language because I was happy that she wanted to take a picture because she liked my outfit. And I was like, oh wow, Miles Morales gave me exposure to how these interactions even go. You know what I'm saying? Because I never interacted with someone who was deaf. And that's, just supporting when we talk about how we need some more black representation. This is why representation is necessary. Because some people probably don't see this in their regular walks of life. And when they do, having representation gives them some form of experience.
Right.
Because hey,
now,
that girl.
Now everybody think we walking around with the Killmonger hairstyle.
Right,
it's a bunch of Killmongers.
It's the hairstyle though. I don't know. I don't know. That could have gave Killmonger a different hairstyle too.
I think if it hadn't been like so replicated up to this point, I think when it came out, it was fine. But now that it's been overly replicated in multiple industries, now it's kind of like, okay, come on, y'all. But I feel like
Okay, so I gotta.
in the time that it came out, I feel like it was fine. Like nobody really had a problem with it.
I got a question. So is like the hairstyle like half of the head shaved like Rihanna did back in the day and it's dread? Or like
No,
they take their whole head of dreads and pin it to the side like
it's a bald fade all up on the sides, but they grow their dreads and then for somehow it slicks to the side. And
they
I've
pin
never
it to
seen
the
any
side?
dude with dreads
Oh,
do that.
okay.
I've never seen any of my homies with dreads do that.
Yeah, they don't slit nothing
Or
to no
twist or
side. They
whatever.
put it in their face
Or they'll
or
have the
whatever.
Travis Scott, yeah, where they just let the braids or the twist dangle. I've never seen that look in real life. I honestly thought they was trying to replicate freeform dreads, and they did a horrible job. That's what I thought at first.
You talking about wigs?
Yeah, Wicks, the Florida, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think
They better not put Miles with no wigs up in New York. They better not.
They had them in the GTA 6 trailer. You
they
saw
did have them,
and they look good too.
But that's gonna be in Florida though, ain't it?
Yeah, it is in Florida.
I'm just saying, when Miles being from New York had he start swinging with wigs on his head through downtown Harlem, I would be upset because nobody in New York wear wigs like that. So that would have been a disconnect for me.
So maybe that's the conversation. Like, you know, American culture is it's a wealth. It's a melting pot. It's a lot of culture is represented in America, and y'all making a video game based in New York, and y'all had them in some Timberlands. Okay, we saw the Timberlands. Everybody know that they was using a little bit of slang, but are black guys rocking that hairstyle in New York? I ain't been to New York.
I mean, I guess that's a different conversation. I was going to ask. Is America really a melting pot of different cultures? I just don't agree with that, but we can move on. We ain't got to get into that, but I just don't think America is a melting pot. It could be, but in a sense that a lot of stuff we started and we as in black people ain't nothing melting but us. So if you look back to a lot of popular stuff, it was rooted in black culture, like 95% of it. So is it really a melting pot, or is it like red beans and rice with a few sausages in there?
Let me get your definition of a melting pot so I can make sure we communicate.
Let me get yours. You tell me. You said it first. No, Portia don't want us to have this conversation.
I mean, when we talk race is political. Race is nothing but politics. That's a political term anyway. But when I look at melting pot of cultures, I imagine cultures becoming so blended to where people can celebrate them and it's shared and multiple people are experiencing whether or not they was born into that culture or it comes from their family background or not. And it becomes shared amongst many and it becomes normalized. That's what I think of melting pot of cultures.
That's a nice definition, but I don't think that's the state of America today. We're not sharing, people are appropriating. They're not sharing.
Here's the thing.
Because if we were sharing, Hispanics would be mad at half of us for celebrating Cinco de Mayo and getting drunk with tequila shots.
Here's the thing. Recently, people have become a lot more race conscious, and that has been a cultural transition. 15 years ago, I'm gonna use the smallest example. Culture includes cuisine, traditions, dances, religion, language, all of that. If you go into the grocery store right now, you're going to see pasta noodles and everything on the same aisle as bread and everything else. You're going to see spaghetti and with Luigi's and all this other stuff on the same aisle. That's Italian culture. When Italians came to New York and a few other states, they were treated badly, but now even their cuisine has been integrated. Christianity, Islam, and all these different Abrahamic faiths are in America. They have different backgrounds and they are mixed into American culture. Now you see black rappers who are just fully American adopting what was originally a Middle Eastern based religion. And you see that in all eras, even with hip hop. Yes, that's more so where do they say the origins of hip hop? Do they still say it's New York, or what is the general accepted standard of where hip hop originated from?
I say New York.
Yeah,
I think that's
what I was gonna say.
If hip hop started in New York, I went to California. I heard more hip hop being played there than I ever did when I was in Mississippi, which is one of the few states where it's a lot of black people. That is being shared amongst people. And we are sharing religion. We're sharing food. We're sharing a whole lot of things with different races of people. I've met some Asian girls who love them some greens and cornbread. And as a black man, I love me some sushi and some anime and some manga. None of this is American based. That is a melting pot of culture.
Okay.
It may not be in the way you want it to be, but
So
we
you're saying
celebrate various
America is the
cultures.
melting pot, or American culture is the melting pot?
I would say America itself is a melting pot of cultures. American culture itself is a culture that does adopt and in some ways take inappropriately other bits and pieces of other cultures.
Mm-hmm. So that makes more sense.
Okay, wow.
Sage said, "Don't Mississippi only got 4 rappers?" Ray J's an R&B, so he don't count.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of some more, but I can't think past David
Ray
Banner.
Schmurr, Rick Ross, David Banner,
Rick
Big
Ross do count,
Crits.
even though he don't claim it.
Who else from Mississippi?
Um,
It's a few more other ones from Mississippi.
My boy King
But
Cam,
yeah,
I was in
Ryan, I
Atlanta
agree.
with him.
I agree with you. I agree that America is the melting pot versus American culture.
Yeah. Now, American culture and the flaws with it and everything, or whether it exists, some people say it don't exist, that's a whole nother conversation. But America is indeed a melting pot of cultures.
Sage said Rick Ross, Florida.
Rick Ross is from
Rick Ross was
Meridian.
born in Mississippi. And he
Born
don't
and
claim it, just
raised.
like Oprah and all of them. They don't claim it, but he was.
He just lived in Florida.
Ain't so.
Mm.
But we can have that conversation when we talk about music.
Yeah, we'll
and
get
give y'all
to
the history
what
of the
do we
dirty
dislike
South.
about the music industry? Y'all don't claim
People
where
don't
y'all
claim where they
from.
Born
But
and raised are two different things.
That
is
man
true.
wasn't raised in Florida either. Was he raised in Florida? I thought he was raised in Mississippi, and went to Florida when he got some money in his pocket.
Well, when can you claim being raised in the area? How many years do you got to be there, or what part of your childhood do it count? Because that's a whole lot of technicalities, in my opinion.
let's save that discussion for the music episode. So, did anybody have any other dislikes, or did anybody think of any likes that they had?
Shout out to the black game streamers.
Yeah,
Because here's my thing: the gaming industry has expanded when it comes to esports and streaming, and I like that game streaming has become an outlet, especially for a lot of young black content creators, to get to that money and get some exposure.
I would
And
say
it's
I would agree with that. And then I also like the streamers that I named at the beginning of this episode. Like some of your streamers are like our age, older. I know your boy Roshi is like in his 30s. Christine has her whole family thing going on, but they're the way that they're portraying their content, or just the fact that they are producing this content, is inviting that community. Is like you know, games is not just for children. Like us playing this content and indulging this content can be accepted at any age. So
exactly. And the game streamers, the bigger they get, that's a big part of where representation does come into play, because it's like these are the people playing your games. So if you say you want them to support a game, play it because that streaming is marketing, you got to take the time to represent them, and it becomes like a push and pull effect. Like doing that and having them in that industry and playing a major role will allow the games to become more diverse and inclusive over time. So shout out to them, all of them, small, big,
I
medium.
agree.
I agree, because if you have like, I know RDC World, they I would, what word am I looking for? I guess
Pioneers, trailblazers.
I'm gonna say sometimes some of the streams that I watch of them playing games sometimes is a partnership. That's what I was looking for. It's a partnership of some game developing company wanted them to, hey, check out the game, tell us how you feel. And I feel like them getting those partnerships, I've seen her do the same thing, but us being able, them wanting the feedback from us on what these characters look like and how this story progresses, I think means a lot, because in the future, as they do more work, or if they do DLCs, etc., they can take that feedback from us and implement that in their next project.
Facts. I fully agree.
So yeah, definitely shout out to all of the game streamers. And I really don't think I had any other dislikes other than what we talked about. Anybody else have anything?
What is y'all's favorite gaming memory?
My favorite gaming memory.
Yeah.
Let me
I
say
guess
this before y'all get started. I overstayed my welcome, so I got to bid y'all adieu.
see you, King. Thank you for joining the
Thank y'all for
conversation.
watching me. I love us.
Okay.
What Monique say? I love us for real. I gotta go get our night started, so I gotta go cook at 8 p.m., 8:06 p.m. So
I feel you.
Okay.
Well, see you, King. Thank you for joining the conversation.
What?
yes, of course. Oh wow. I will see y'all next week.
Boy, let me switch the view. All right.
Favorite
I,
memory?
I think my favorite gaming memory, or if I want to go like of eras, when I first got that GameCube era. I remember when I first got
Oh,
my GameCube, and I got the GameCube with the Double Dash bundle, and my parents had bought me the little extender where I could play the Game Boy games on the GameCube. But that GameCube era, disgusting work.
yeah. I'm gonna say GameCube and I'm gonna say PlayStation 2. Those, yeah.
But I would
That was
say my favorite memory was when the Switch era came out. So that's when, we really all started hanging out and we started, bonding based on our anime experiences, our gaming experiences. And when the Switch came out and we used to meet up in Ryan Room for those late night Smash Bros runs, and it's
late
like
night
eight of us.
smash.
It's 8 of us in a room. Late night Smash. Pause. Pause.
Just smashing throughout the night.
Just
All
We
of us
meeting
just
up at
smashing.
smashing.
midnight, y'all.
Eight people in the
Smashing,
room just smashing.
smashing, just
Group
smashing
smash
all night.
battles, all of that. Team smash.
Team
The three on
smash.
three.
bring your own controller.
Own equipment. Bring your own
Bring
equipment.
your own equipment.
Bring on BYOE. BYOE.
Sorry, y'all. Sorry, but it was an opportunity and it had to be taken.
We were smashing all night, all of us. In my dorm.
Wake up in the morning tired.
We was at the beach smashing, dorm room smashing.
But in all serious note, that Switch era, and I really appreciate the Switch coming out. I appreciate the Switch coming out.
Put his comment on the screen. Put that comment on the screen. Because stage wilding. He the black because he got a long tongue.
Oh man, let's bring.
I'm gonna
Let's
stop,
bring this
y'all.
back.
I'm gonna
Let's
stop.
bring this back. Let's bring this back. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna say I'm grateful for the Switch era because it produced, the opportunity for us to all bond as friends, and it was and even let's go past the Switch. That time in college where all those fighting games had came out, Tekken, we were running Tekken 7, Soul Calibur, and Mortal Kombat 11 and 10 back to back.
Mhm.
Good times.
Good times.
The game. Here's the thing. Nintendo definitely takes up 2 out of the 3 of my favorite gaming consoles and generations. But I really loved the Xbox 360 for a few reasons. I remember my favorite gaming memory. I was in middle school. My mom did not let me play mature rated games. The Christian family, all that good stuff, right? And I traded a video game with my homeboy. I forgot what I gave him, but he gave me Halo 3, or was it Halo Reach? I think it was Halo Reach, but Halo Reach's multiplayer was like Halo 3's multiplayer. And that's when I joined that's when I got affiliated with Halo. First mature rated game. After that, it was Assassin's Creed. I started playing the Dragon Age games, and 360 was when I first connected my console to the router, and I'm doing online play.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't get called an N-word too much because folks probably ain't know I was black, but when they used it, I was a little hurt. I was a little mad, but I ain't say nothing because I didn't want to get called it. But you know what I'm saying? That was a legendary time for me. Xbox got in a bag. I feel like that was the golden age of a lot of M-rated games. That's when you saw Assassin's Creed really get into their bag.
Mm-hmm.
Dragon Age Origins, The Witcher 2 and 3. Like 360 was that console for me. That's the reason I'm an Xbox fan. Just the 360.
Yeah, I stayed on the PlayStation side, not because I disliked Xbox at the time. I think like growing up and the people that I hung around playing games, it was mostly family. Like everybody had PlayStation. So like I was like, I gotta have a PS2. I gotta get the PS3. And that was, this progressed in the PS4, PS5. And I didn't really start, diving into too much of the Xbox until I met Ryan.
See, and I'll say this, PlayStation 2, it's hard to say what my favorite consoles were. PlayStation 2 was so legendary when it came to like, what would you call them, mascots? When Slack Cooper and Crash Bandicoot and all of them was in their bag, Spyro and all of them, all of those games, Jack and Daxter, like
what's the
PlayStation 2 was Ratchet and Clank.
Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, the Ty, that game.
Ty the Tasmanian Tiger with the boomerangs and all of that. I had that. Like PlayStation 2, it's hard, bro. PlayStation 2,
I would
360, GameCube, Wii, yeah.
And I feel like what spearheaded all of those experiences, it was the fact that every IP and every franchise wanted a game.
If you didn't have a game, what you doing?
It's like everybody a movie, like a movie's coming out and here's the game for PS2, Xbox 360,
Game Boy Advance had this
and
game
that was the
too.
expectation back then. It was expectation. Like,
so it was like it was so like Shrek had a racing and a fighting game. For what?
Yeah.
But that fighting game went in, and the racing was.
The
fun.
Racing did too. Shrek Smash and Crash was lit.
Yeah.
I'll say, bro. Like, let me see. Like the late 2000s and the early 2010s. For me, I think that was like the golden era age of gaming. Like that's when you saw all these IPs just going
Simpsons
at it, really
had
being
creative.
Simpsons did have a game.
Yeah.
I think Family Guy had them a game. All the Nickelodeon franchises. SpongeBob had every time a SpongeBob special came out, it was a game to go with it.
Those were the days when Dragon Ball Z really invested in Budokai Tenkaichi, some of the best Dragon Ball games. Naruto Clash of Ninja was on GameCube. If y'all played that, that was one of my favorite Naruto games.
I did love that one.
Going to Sage's comments, they do have a new DreamWorks racer game, and Nickelodeon, that Nickelodeon Brawl game. I
heard folks enjoyed it.
I'm gonna have to get into that. I saw RDC cool. World playing it.
I played it. I played it once.
And this is another thing that I would give to Black streamers as well, is that I was thinking about this because I saw your tweet on Twitter earlier today, Ryan, about why you don't really dabble in game streaming content. But my reasoning for watching certain game streams is that, one, I watch game streams. If it's a game that I want to play, I play the game first, then watch their experience just to see if we had the same experience. And then two, if it's a game that I'm not sure about or something I heard about, then it's like, hey, let me watch this streamer. And not one, I'm able to see the game, without purchasing.
Yeah.
Two, I'm getting a genuine Black experience from a Black streamer playing the game.
Yeah.
So now
I like the commentary.
Right. Yeah. So our experience, that I can trust their experience in their commentary, and we're having the same reactions and having the same experience looking at this game while they're playing it.
See, and here's the thing, I love and respect streamers, and I'm glad that it's out there. It's just I never really just got into game streaming. Some folks look at me crazy when I mention this. Y'all remember GameTrailers.com? Before IGN and GameSpot got big,
is it that game? Is it the game X, that big? It was
like a G and a T, and it was blue and silver, and I think a little bit of yellow in the logo.
Okay, no, I don't remember that. I remember something with an X in it.
It might have been. I could be misremembering. But GameTrailers.com, I was always that kid. There's a new game trailer, I'm watching that first. And if I was looking at somebody else play the video game, it would probably be for walkthroughs. I just never got into streaming. Because if someone's playing the game that I want to play for 2 or 3 hours, I'm like, man, forget this. I'm just gonna buy it.
I mean, I can see that.
I can see that. That's why I don't watch it for games that I actually want to play. I just started watching your boy Roshi's stream of Tekken 8, and he put this out a week or so ago, but I never watched it because I want to play the game. Now, but if it's a am I think of an X Play? I think I might be. Because it was a big X
You
The
might be
logo.
talking. I'm surprised Sage remember game trailers. Don't nobody ever remember game trailers when I talk to them. And that was the thing. They was hot.
But like I'm with you, Ryan. If it's a game I'm playing, I'm gonna be looking for walkthrough videos and things like that because I'm actively playing the game, and I don't want to, and also because I don't want to spoil it for
Spoil it.
myself either.
Yep.
If I want to play this game, I'm not gonna watch you play it until I play it, and then I'll come back. If I really enjoy your content, I'll come back and watch you play it.
Yeah,
And
see
if you
how
had
it
the
went
same.
for them.
Like there's a few times where I've watched game streams. Like if I say like the recent ones, I have only really touched RDC, and it was for two reasons. I saw that they were playing Elden Ring and Baldur's Gate, and I was like, I don't want to put Marcus and them in a bubble, but this don't seem like they type of games, and they already funny.
Well, they
So
play.
I did after.
I was gonna say I started getting into their content when they started playing Mario Kart. The thing that I really like about RDC, where they play a lot, is they don't have a niche. And I guess the appropriate word for them would be variety streamers. Because while they have streamed Baldur's Gate, Elden Ring, they did Paul World, they also do the Nickelodeon stream I watched was them.
They do
They
a lot of
got
PC
all
games and stuff
Mario
too.
Kart streams, Smash Bros streams. So I'll give them that.
I think they take They might take like recommendations too.
And that's what I'm saying.
People.
Some of their stuff is partnerships. Like I know they did that Avatar, Avatar Pandora game, but that was a partnership, and the Tekken one was a partnership too.
And I guess I'm just realizing like streaming is really about like, do you like the personality of the person? Because I know that was part of the reason I was like, let me see how they react to some of these boss battles in Elden Ring and how they react to like rolling dice in Baldur's Gate.
But you remember that's what Boogie told us, and like shout out to Boogie again for collaborating with us. But that's what she was telling us when we had interviewed her. Like, you could be playing Power Wash Simulator or some farming simulator, but if you have the personality and your commentary is interesting enough, that people will watch you.
Facts.
Make it funny. It can be games that I have no interest in at all, like, and I ain't never even heard of, and I'll watch it if like your commentary is good. Because if you're making me laugh, I mean, that's all I care about. That's the type of stuff I watch when I'm like at work. Like I just like to listen to it in the background.
Or you make it, you make it like
interesting.
Playable.
Yeah, I'll give him that.
So, I guess our last question, and we'll wrap this up. What is one thing that you would like to see from future projects in regards to Black representation, culture, etc., in video games?
Aside from the hair, I mean, honestly, hair is probably the biggest issue.
Yeah.
For me, at least. I can say what I don't want to see. The piggybacking off of our movie, TV, and film industry video, what I don't want to see is y'all purposely like pandering to us Black people. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't just do it to be lectury or to be like, haha, I'm checking something off a list. Stay genuine. I feel like there are better writers in the gaming industry than there is in the TV and film industry right now. Stay making good characters. Stay making good games. Just make sure y'all give just as much attention as y'all do to developing your white characters as you do your Black characters. And that includes the story as well as character design. You know, there's a whole lot of shades in us Black folks. There's a whole lot of hairstyles for us. If y'all can have 40, 50 white hairstyles, I need at least 30 Black hairstyles. At least 30. And that's it.
What about you, Swan?
I really kind of just agree with Ryan. It's kind of just the whole overall look of the Black people in the games. I want to see more of that. And I guess I get that, like I was kind of saying earlier, if it's a room full of people that don't look like us, maybe they're like, maybe I guess they're probably, you could imagine they're going to be like, well, I don't really want to try to make this hairstyle because I'm probably going to mess it up and it's probably not going to look authentic. So we're just going to give something basic or something that we've seen before that we know can be cool. So I guess in that aspect, I get it, because if you're going to do it right, or don't. Well,
I would also say get the people in the room who can do it. Like going back to Sage's point, let's get more black developers in the room. If you want to make black characters and you don't have the resources, go get the resources.
Go get them. Yeah, I agree with that.
Go to the Bay Conference gaming industry. If any of y'all watch our videos, anybody, EA, Activision, Blizzard, Microsoft Studios, Insomniac, and Treyarch, whatever. If any of y'all watch this video, I promise you there is a wealth of black computer science majors, computer engineers, and even graphics designers that want to work in gaming and they don't know how to. I went to my alma mater.
Yep.
Exactly. I went to my alma mater, and one of the kids was like, "How do you get in the gaming industry?" And I was like, "Kid, honestly, he was grown because he was a college student. I was like, honestly, I don't know. I can tell you about aerospace, but with gaming, I have no experience with that in terms of on a professional scale. So y'all developers out there, y'all development companies, when y'all get y'all hiring managers, go to a Bay Conference, go do like an HBCU run. I promise y'all, there's some black engineers and computer scientists who want to do game development.
Because it's not like they don't exist. Like we were just talking about, like there's hella games that are developed by black developers and they have black characters. However, they're not in the major IPs that I won't say that we're looking for, that most of us play.
Yeah.
So we want, so get them in the room, get the resources.
Look, they're gonna be happy to get paid and work in their passions.
And I guess that was gonna be my thing. My answer to Antoine's what I want from the future is that let's get some more black developers in the room. That's going to be the thing that really increases the representation when it comes to hair, when it comes to clothing, when it comes to the way we interact with characters in the game, when it comes to even if we want to touch back on Haley from Spider-Man 2, her being a black female character and also being deaf, having a disability, being able to represent all of those different architectures. But it has archetypes. Thanks.
I got you.
That was this. Since he got his degree,
No, because you said architect. Keep going. I do what you was trying to say. Keep going.
I feel you. I appreciate it. But I'm just saying it starts with getting black developers who have those experiences in the room.
Let's do it.
And it's Black History Month. That's the reason we talking about blackness. But I will also say I love just overall representation when it's done right. I love that, Haley was a representation of black women, blackness, and deaf and a disability when it comes to being deaf. Like that was new. You know what I'm saying? Me as someone who from the South, I didn't really get exposed to much diversity growing up. I love seeing this. You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't like it being forced and luxury like in movie, TV, and film. But when it comes to gaming, it's just genuinely added there. And then y'all make it unique. Like with her missions and how it was quiet and you had to do the painting and stuff.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
That was nice.
I was like, those were some fire mechanics.
It was actually the most peaceful thing I did in that whole game.
That's what I'm saying. Like look at how proper diversity and inclusion can even add to the overall experience and give you even new mechanics to play with. Like the value is there for the consumer and the supplier. So make sure y'all do that, game developers.
All right. Well, this was a great discussion, you guys. And we're going to go ahead and shut this down. So I want to thank you, Ron, Antoine, and King, if you're still watching, for joining me on another episode of the Blerd Mob and for week 2 of our Black History Month celebration. So just to give our audience the rundown, next Wednesday, February 21st, we will be discussing the anime, manga, and comic book industry. And on the last week, Wednesday, February 28th, we will be discussing the music industry. So make sure you guys follow us on social media so you can get the updates. A second reminder of when these events will be taking place. We're on Instagram at the Blerd Mob Pod. We're on Twitter at the Blerd Mob. And you can find us on Facebook and TikTok at the Blerd Mob Podcast. Once again, if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you're watching this on Twitch, make sure you hit that follow button. And if you're listening to this after for the audio version, make sure you hit that follow button on Twitter and Apple Podcasts so you can get updates from the mob when we drop new episodes. And speaking of new episodes, we just dropped episode 42 of the podcast. To find, if you're watching this on YouTube, just go to our page and find the new video. If you are looking for the audio copy of this, go to our link tree, linktr.ee/the Blerd Mob Pod releases. And if you're feeling oh so generous, make sure you guys send us a donation on Ko-fi, ko-fi.com/the Blerd Mob Podcast. This goes to equipment and all of the software that we use to bring you guys this production today. I don't need a new mic, but we might need something else. It's the software.
Get me a mic. Donate to me.
Antoine needs a mic.
I need a mic. Y'all see what I'm talking to right now? Y'all hear me?
You need don't you need a computer set up? Ain't you on your phone right now?
Yikes.
Anyway.
Oh, nah, Sage. Your money
Say said my donations went to that master ball. No. No.
Mine was bought with my money.
We use it for the promotions. The promotions that we do on Instagram, the software. And we haven't bought any new equipment. We need to invest and we need money to get Antoine a microphone.
Help me.
Sage said, great live stream as always, guys. Thank you, Sage, for joining us and for your input. Tamika Jr. said, enjoyed the discussion. Happy Black History Month. Happy Black History Month. And with all that being said, thank you, everybody, for watching and or listening. Whether this is your first time or 50th time listening, it is always appreciated. And with that being said, this is the mob checking out. Peace.
Hands up, if you love him where you at, stand 10 toes down, sure they ain't no looking mad. You can let them haters hate when they enter while I'm smiling, I just tell them life's great. Like gravy. If you love him where you at, stand 10